It's the host nation. It's Israel. They're being represented by Kobi Marimi singing the song Home. Now, Israel being the host, actually pick out how they're going to perform, where they're going to perform, sorry, out of a hat. What does this mean? This means Israel, we know, are going to perform 14th in the grand final on May the 18th. Now, Kobi has won an award for Most Promising Actor in Israel's Musical Theatre Festival. He also won the 6th season of Hakokaf Haba, which I probably haven't pronounced correct anyway. But that's what enabled him to go to Israel. And let's face it, he has a job on his hands. Host nation hasn't got a great record. Portugal, 26th. Ukraine, 24th. Austria got the famous nul point. But how is Israel going to fare? Let's go straight in and say a very good evening to my co-host, Stuart.
Hey, Tom.
Hello. Now, Israel. Obviously, the song is Home. They are home. They're not going to be going home. So, what do we think?
I think this is a great little ballad. It's beautiful. It's emotional. It builds. He's a phenomenal singer. He won his national final convincingly, and this is a song which possibly won't be top of the betting odds, but can contend to win Eurovision. It's excellently performed. It's a fantastic studio song, and I can imagine that this will be really well staged in Tel Aviv. I'm expecting big things from the Israelis. It's a massive departure from Toy, isn't it? Let's be frank. You know, you've got one extreme to the other. But I'm really excited to see what Kobi is going to deliver in Tel Aviv. It could be something quite special.
Do you know what? I think it could be. And just moving on. Good evening, Jason.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well, and I'm just thinking about Israel's entry. Of course, we talk a lot about the 20-year thing with Israel, because obviously they won in 78, they won in 98, they won in 2018. But could this be the start of a 40-year cycle? Because they did win in 1979 as well.
Did you hear the spoof that was arranged a few days ago, which was like, it sounded like a really awful man strangling a cat. And I heard this Fuego song was one, and it was awful. And then I was expecting something really bad, and it came out, and I really liked it. I actually thought it was really good. And out of the two ballads we're going to discuss this evening from another certain country, I think it's a lot better. It's quite a strong song. I don't think it's going to win. Could sort of sit somewhere in the middle of the table. Don't think it's going to be as bad as most people think it will do. I think it's going to do quite well.
Okay, and just to hammer this down a little bit more, I'm going to go over to our stats man. Good evening, Tristan.
Hello there. Well, I mean, I think he's got a really interesting voice. It's an interesting voice. It's a very clever voice. The vibrato that he sometimes has, the very low vibration. It's interesting. It can get a little bit annoying after a time, but it is interesting, and this song fits his voice perfectly. However, although I love the beginning, I love that sort of that churchy sort of whoa 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 sing at the beginning. I'm not massively keen on the song. It's a little bit dirgy. I think it will do well with the jury. I don't think it will do so well with the televote. So I'm not thinking it's going to do all that well on the night. But I love his voice.
Okay.
I love his voice.
Now, let's, I've asked for the opinions on this. I'm going to ask Stuart, Jason, and Tristan for this again. Better or worse, well, can't get much worse, better or equal to Portugal last year, where they propped up the table. Stuart, better or equal?
Oh, this is easy. Better in terms of result for sure. No question. This is going to go well. Interesting, they're number 14th in terms of position in the grand final. They've already decided where they're going to start. And it's a reasonably lucky number. Last won by the Olsen brothers back in 2000. They went on to win Eurovision from position 14.
Ah, very fascinating fact. Jason, is it going to better Portugal's record?
Yeah, I actually liked Portugal last year, but obviously the public didn't. I think it's going to do a lot better.
And Tristan?
It will do marginally better. I think maybe fifth from bottom or something like that.
Okay, so we're not predicting Tel Aviv 2020, is what we're saying. Personally, I quite like it. It's one of the better ballads in the contest. I think it's got an interesting slot as well, being performed 14th. I think this is going to be the best host entry since Sweden's entry sung by Franz in 2016, where he came 5th. I don't think it's going to quite do as well as that. I'm predicting it's probably just going to hang just outside the top 10, but we'll see for certain on May the 8th.